With the Liberty Racquetball team not being able to compete for the second season in a row, the Flames still found a way to keep the program growing and maintaining its family-like culture. We sat down with head coach Danny Rodriguez to talk about the team maintaining its stability over the last few seasons and how the Flames are gearing up for the new year.
And sitting down with me today is the head coach of the men's and women's racquetball team, Danny Rodriguez. Danny, thanks for sitting down with us.
Glad to be here.
Now, Danny, for your team, unfortunately, you guys haven't been able to compete like we're usually used to you guys seeing over the last couple of seasons because of COVID and all the regulations. But the team has still been able to keep its family-like environment. So talk about that, as well as like just improving your skills as well with all the practices you've been able to still be able to have.
Well, we do have a great bunch of kids that love racquetball. That's one thing that they all like, to play racquetball. And they show up and play on their own, practice on their own, and everything else. Yeah, we didn't have a season last year, but that didn't change their minds. They still love playing racquetball, and except for the ones that graduated, almost everybody is returning to the team this year. So we talked to the commissioner. I've talked to the commissioner, and he's waiting to hear back from some of the schools. Some of the schools are still not letting their teams practice, which is a big plus for us because our school has let us practice, so that's a good thing for us.
And for a lot of programs, unfortunately, across the country, not just in racquetball, but a lot of other club sports, they haven't been able to keep that stability of the team, and some teams have had to fold. But you guys have been able to maintain not only the stability without having a season, but also grow in your rankings as well. So talk a little bit about that, just how you've been able to continue to help the program still progress, even though you weren't guaranteed competition.
Well, I think one of the biggest things with our team is that we are a family environment. We all look after each other. We all talk to each other. I mean, a lot of the kids go out and eat together. They meet for lunch and things like that. They study together. So it's a very cohesive environment that they stay together. They like to practice together. And so someone will call and say, I'm going to be at the courts at 4 o'clock. A bunch of them will just show up, just to, because they got word that someone was going to be there, so they'll just show up and play. That's one of the things that helped us. They're able to practice, and during normal practice hours, plus the kids are practicing on their own just by playing each other over and over again. So.
And talk a little bit about this offseason. What's happened, like, obviously, with recruitment, and then also people starting to be able to start competing again, because we noticed some of your athletes competed in the Commonwealth Games. So talk about this past offseason for your team.
Yeah, they loved that. The Commonwealth Games was a big advantage for our kids. They gave them their first tournament environment that they realized that it's a different environment than just playing with each other. They got to play with other people, and they got to play with people who wouldn't be in college. They played adults from throughout Virginia, and some of them learned very quickly that there's some tough competition out there. so they were questioning, well, am I in the right division? Well, for collegiate, yes, but you're talking about state tournaments, and you've got a lot of great players out there that play within our state. So the Commonwealth was a big advantage for those students who did compete. They had a new perspective of racquetball. Our competition right now with the other collegiate schools is still unknown. Since we don't know what schools are going to be competing this year, we are waiting for the commissioner Mr. Phil Wheeler, to get back with us and let us know, yeah, we have so many schools, we're going to move forward and compete this year. So.
And now, obviously, moving forward to this upcoming year, you're going to have tryouts soon. So talk a little bit about just preparing for this upcoming season. And even though you're not sure when you guys are going to start competing again, but talk a little bit about the goals that you have for the team, whether they're on or off the court.
Our goals are always the same. We have a set schedule that we go by all the time. We expect our players to show up at practice. Recruiting new people isn't a problem. We already have people that have emailed me and said they want to be on the team. So they've heard about the team. They've talked to other student players, and they're convinced that this is a sport they want to play. We'll practice like we normally do. We'll do our drills on scheduled days. We'll play doubles, we'll play singles, we'll play cutthroat. We play all the sport, different things racquetball allows us to play. And drilling is probably to us the most important, to me, is the most important thing. People don't like to drill, but if you can hit the same shot over and over again, be consistent with it, when you get into a game, you're going to be consistent also. So I really press drilling as much as I can, but I allow them to play competitively against each other, which helps their game also, because they are very competitive players. So.
Well, awesome, Danny. Well, thank you again for coming and sitting down with us. And yeah, we can't wait to see you guys hopefully be able to compete this upcoming year.
You're more than welcome. And we'll see what happens this year. We'll let you know. Hope we can follow up with you and let you know that we are competing and what we'll be doing.